You found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, me and Pat will be discussing Nikola Vucevic saying that this may be the last chance for the current Bulls core. We're also going to talk about the three Bulls named in Bleacher Report's top 100 and the best and worst coaches in Bulls history. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. Pat, Nikola Vucevic puts a little pressure on the current Bulls core by saying that the Bulls core faces the last chance. With the trade rumor surrounding Zach LaVine and other things that went into this, he said this: we know we can do better, we have to do better, and we know it's kind of our last chance as this core of guys to do something. How do you feel like, do you feel like that puts the right amount of pressure on kind of the team, the players in a sense to go out there and perform? Or do you think it's like, is it just word salad? How are you feeling about it, bro?
What about this says it's the last chance? Vooch has
maybe he knows something that we don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, Vooch has a 3-year deal. The Bulls want to re-sign DeMar to a long term. Like, at a minimum, right? Like, what are you not re-signing DeMar DeRozan? That's what makes it not the last chance anymore, right? Like, I guess there's that. But then is Vooch and Zach still not pretty much the same team? Except right now you're looking for that third guy. I don't know. I don't know if I view this as the last chance for the core. But I don't know if I view this as the last chance for the team, this team as a whole. But maybe, right, if you're just talking about DeMar, Zach, and Vooch, listen. Yeah. They might. Like, if this team does poorly this season, why would you bring it back? Why would you re-sign DeMar? Why would you run everything back as you are this season? Especially when, right, and I get what the Bulls, right, like, I know it's not a popular thing, but I get what the Bulls are trying to do. You want to make sure that you check all your boxes before you give up on a team. Guess what? They feel like they checked the point guard box this season. And you're gonna see, right, if Javon Carter comes out and he's able to all of a sudden turn this Bulls back into that Bulls team that it was the first 35 games of the season, or Kobe White takes a step and it becomes that, whatever it is, right? Like, then yeah, you'd be more willing to extend this team. But if you're still going in and you win 40 games again, like, what are you running back at that point? Like, you're literally just saying it's okay to be in the middle.
Well, I mean, that's what they've said already. Because I mean, like, the thing is that I get what he's getting at, because yeah, eventually where there's smoke, there's fire, right? And so tons of trade rumors around Zach LaVine. We know that the Bulls have been listening to calls on Zach, not necessarily taking their own or going out and shopping him. That could turn very quickly on another disappointing season, especially a season in which you do own your own first round pick outright. And so while it is a weaker draft expected to come into this draft, but you just never know. And so DeMar also free agent at the end of this season. So there's enough reason around that to where I can get to where Vooch getting at. But like, I think me and you've talked about it enough. Like, that's not AK's MO. So I don't see it being the last chance regardless. I think that this season would have to be such a disaster for it to truly be the last chance with this core. But I definitely get what he's getting at.
Could this be maybe not the last chance with this core as far as the players go, but maybe the last chance with Billy Donovan at the helm?
That's yes, please, God.
Well, that's a whole different thing now. You came in a little aggressive on that. Yeah,
I don't care. Yeah, listen, here's the thing. All jokes aside, and me being completely objective, and tell me if you feel I'm not being objective with this, Pat. No. I'm about to say is that if this team fails to make the play-in, let's say I don't even mean make the play-in and get eliminated. If this team fails to make the play-in, somebody has to be held accountable. AK and Eversley aren't going to fire themselves. So at that point, it either has to be a player, the players, or the coach. And I'm not saying that it's going to be one of the which one is going to be, but I would think that if it gets that bad, somebody's head got to roll.
Or is it the fact that you're running back a team that unless you feel like you're squeezing more juice out of this team, you're running back a team that basically Billy Donovan said, I've gotten the most out of them that I can. right? We may feel like a team didn't reach its potential or could have been better or something like that. But a lot of times we do see that where it's like, listen, I don't know why that team didn't work. Yeah. Like there's times where guys fit perfectly together in our minds and we'd be like, oh, this skill set should be able to accentuate this. Like realistically, right? 100% honest, with Tom Thibodeau, that Minnesota team should have worked. Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose in their spot, star Jeff Teague, Andrew Wiggins, Karl-Anthony Towns. It should have worked. But I think it didn't work, though. We know why that team didn't work. Those players at that time weren't ready to take who Jimmy Butler was at that time. For example, if AK had been the GM of that team, much like we saw with Denver, I think we would have seen him hold on to those pieces unless Jimmy asked for a trade until the players matured to be able to understand what Jimmy was trying to get out of it. But it was just, it's just one of those things where, right, when you look at skill on the court, it didn't fit well. Like Cat didn't fit well. Cat doesn't fit well at all.
Cat doesn't fit in anything nowadays. So that's just it's
Jordan Wood.
But an awkward dude is always going to be awkward. Like it's just like
for sure, bro. What he said on that podcast,
bro.
For
sure. Come on, man.
It's just you know, like I think that we've seen teams in the past where we look at them and say, this should work. And listen, to Minnesota's credit, for the most part, it's not like they stopped trying to make that team work after Jimmy left. It just got to a point where it literally couldn't work, right? You had to
they even try to make it work this past offseason with trading for Rudy Gobert, and then they realized, hey man, we gave up a lot.
Gross. But listen, they gave up a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wanted the Bulls to trade for Rudy Gobert, but not that much.
I remember when you were on here saying crazy things like his value may be low. For what? Like, come on, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, no, listen. Hey, look, to the rest of the league, his value was low. And then there was Minnesota. Minnesota was Ryan Pace in that joint. They was bidding against themselves. There's like, you want to know what? How about we throw in Walker Kessler? Wait, what?
Bro,
we didn't even
what else do you want?
Him.
What else do you want? But yeah, that's still a wild trade, bro. That's a wild trade,
bro. Kevin Durant went for less than that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like everybody's gone less for that. That's been traded since, except Donovan Mitchell.
In NBA and NFL and MLB history has been traded for less than Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert has two things that are always going to be the biggest stats ever in his career. The first player to get COVID and shut down the league. And then also one of the biggest lopsided trades in all of NBA history.
That's tough,
bro.
That's tough. No, and it's funny, right? Because like, if you think about it, the best part about this is the only other trade that I can think of that's now, it wasn't a 1-for-1, right? There was like 4 teams involved in this trade, but I think technically Drew Holiday was traded for like 6 first-round picks.
Well, that. And the only other one that I was going to mention is the Nets when they traded for KG and Paul Pierce, that they gave up so much of their future.
Bro, like, Boston still got them picks.
Bro, Boston still has 2 first-round picks coming from them from that trade. They doing a show on Showtime, and Boston still got them picks. Bro, I'm telling you, like, it's legit, bro. Like, we're going to look back at that trade. Like, you know how, like, people go back and they're like, hey, well, this pick became this player that became this, like, 8 years later. When that's all said and done, we're going to look at it and be like, dang, the Nets really gave up a whole second franchise for 2 players that they stayed there for a year and a half.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
It's crazy, bro. Hey, listen, I guess it kind of worked, right? We all got hype about the Nets for a year, and
I didn't even get hype when that trade went down. I wish I would have had a podcast. Because I was like, all right, cool, they got him. They not going nowhere.
That team old, bro. That team was old, bro. Like, brought that team over. I was like, that team dusty.
They should have had a sponsorship with Icy Hot for that team, bro. Because that was
Shaq might as well came over. But I just think at the end of the day, when you look at this core, it's hard to get excited, and I get why a lot of Bulls fans are kind of like off of the core. It's hard to get excited when the thing that makes your core great is one guy. Or in our minds, that makes your core great is one guy. It seems like this core can't overcome the losses of having a point guard on its team. And so I kind of get why Vooch is there, because AK and Eversley are literally just like, no, this team works. We just need a point guard.
But okay, and I agree with that. I agree with that. And at least they went out and got a point guard. They got some 3-point shooting, but it's like, hey, you got to be able to pivot better than that, fam. Like it's tough. And I get it. You have a dead $20 million contract just sitting on your roster that if those assets would be able to be allocated elsewhere, we could be talking about a much different team.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this is where we sit, and ain't no redos.
No, not really. It ain't really been no point guard on the market that I wanted the Bulls to sign that changes this team. Like, maybe you could have added more shooting as far as like somebody that can shoot the 3 ball, but like,
well, keep in mind, had the Bulls had more flexibility, you don't necessarily have to sign free agents, even if that flexibility was cap space that you can absorb into things. Allowed. There have been players that have been moved that you could have fit into that salary. So, I mean, we'll see, man. At the end, it's woulda, coulda, shoulda. This is the core that we have, and we'll see if this is the last chance for this core. If this core disappoints again, I think me and you both are higher than some of the pessimistic Bulls fans on this team. If they come in and perform, hopefully we're not even looking at this. But if they don't, somebody's head got to roll eventually.
Hey, I agree with you.
Other than Mariah Mills, but somebody's head got to roll.
But all right, that's a different kind of roll. It's a neck roll.
That's a neck roll. Next up, we're going to be talking about the 3 Bulls players that got named in Bleacher Report's top 100 list. But before we get into that, I got to talk to you guys about FanDuel. Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy to use, and you can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. All right, Patrick, you got to get into it, man. Hey, Steve-O said both our government. Now, he's misspelled mine terribly in the chat, so I had to.
Stephen need to relax out there.
Yeah, Steven got to chill, bro. Steven got to chill. But with that said, man,
is he Steven with a V?
Yeah, Steven with a V, I believe.
Oh, that's gross.
I mean, that's plain. It's plain. He's
Steve Blake,
little caucus out here. But with that said, Nikola Vucevic ranks at 81, Zach LaVine at 44, and DeMar DeRozan at 42 on the top 100 list. How do you feel about those rankings for those respective players?
I mean, listen, I saw that, right, and I think all of them dropped down from where they were the last season. They played worse. Realistically, I'm not going to be upset by it. Now, Vooch one is a little surprising. I'm not going to lie to you. Vooch being that low, because isn't he behind like who did I see on that list that I was like appalled that he was behind? I can't think of it. Big man from Atlanta. Isn't he behind Clint Capella?
I don't know. I have to pull up the list.
I thought he was behind Clint Capella on that. And I was like, okay, like, listen. He doesn't dunk as often, but like Clint Capella is not a better big man than Nikola Vucevic is. But at the end of the day, right, like I can't sit here and be mad about where they're being ranked because I looked at how the team performed last season. And guess what? I'm down on them too. So for them to be going down in the top 100 ranking, I'm not shocked by it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when with these type of lists, you never really know what parameters they're looking at, right? Because they'll say in one person's little blog, well, he's injured, and then it'll be somebody who barely played any games the previous season and be ranked above them. But I think just the way that you just worded it is great. The team was worse. They were the most played 3-man unit in the NBA last season, and they got worse. So naturally, they deserve to be ranked lower. Like it is what it is. I wish I could make a valid argument. Now, I mean, if I want to get into the nitty gritty of it, like Zach LaVine, for example, after the month of January, scored the 3rd most points in all the NBA. But it's like at the end of the day, we're here to win. And the Bulls didn't do that at a high enough level for me to really make a big defense for them either way. Here's what I'll say. If you feel like the ranking's wrong, go out and prove it. I will say this, Chris Paul being ranked at 69th, like that's that. Chris Paul, in the year of our Lord 2023.
What was his ranking?
69th.
Nice. Yeah.
Like
we know what he's into.
Tied with Austin Reeves at that. Now, come on. If you're looking at those 2 seasons,
Austin Reeves and Chris Paul both
had
69 guys.
Better season than I'm trying to make a point here.
Oh, my bad.
God,
go ahead.
No, that's funny though. That's funny. But I mean, Chris Paul did drop 31 spots. Let's be clear here. So I guess in that framework is like, okay, but like really Chris Paul, he shouldn't even be ranked, bro. Get him up out the list completely.
Listen, he drops the 69. That's crazy. But no, I think that it's like you said, right? When you're sitting there talking about how this Bulls team performed, this is not a Chris Paul situation. At a minimum, right? Chris Paul missed what, 25, 30 games last season?
Yeah.
The Chicago Bulls' entire core played.
Yeah. Yeah.
Entire core. Zach LaVine played 77 games. DeMar DeRozan played 74. Nikola Vucevic played 82. Patrick Williams played 82. Ayo Dosunmu played 80. That's your starting lineup.
Yeah.
I can't Zach say LaVine, that about any NBA team.
Now, Zach LaVine was ranked 27th last year. He dropped 27 spots. Do you think that's a little bit too much dropping?
I mean, it's not dropping like Chris Paul, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, no. I mean, he played. We're talking about the Zach LaVine that we wanted to see for the last 22 games of the season.
These are facts.
That's it. We saw him for 22 games. I saw the Zach LaVine. You gave me a month. I can't kill Kobe White for only giving me a month and then not kill Zach LaVine, who's the highest paid player, not on the Bulls, in Bulls history.
Yeah.
You're getting paid more than Michael Jeffrey Jordan, my good sir. Now, granted, right? Like, it's because of the time, the era, all of that stuff. But it's just, like when I look at this list, listen, Jimmy Butler took me and you to the NBA Finals last season.
Basically, yeah. Basically how it happened.
Nikola Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Kobe White all played 74 games. That's
crazy.
74 and up.
Crazy.
74 and up. Alex Caruso played 67. Everyone on your team that you care about played 65 and over. And you're telling me that one piece is what changes this team? I have a problem with that. That tells me that there's a bigger internal thing. That's why my concern with the whole Pat Beverly thing was you shouldn't be going out on the freaking waiver wire to go find the heart of your team. And that's what they did. This team had heart for 22 games.
Yes.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't follow the whole. Like, I love it. I want to see him run it back. I want to see if the answer is there, right? Like, at this point, you got no choice. I was fine with not blowing up the core, but if you run it back with a season like coming into what's going to happen now? You're not going to get healthier.
You could. Let's get 81 from everybody. We're going to get 81 from the whole squad next season.
Like, I mean, realistically, you're not going to get any healthier than you got last season. They're probably going to sit DeMar more because of the hip.
I mean, that's crazy that DeMar's hip straight up was going out too. That's wild.
And he still played 74 games, right? That's what's nuts.
That's crazy. So the top four in this on this list, international players: Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and Joel Embiid rounding out the top four players, with a guy from St. Louis and Jason Tatum being in the top five. How do you feel about that top five list?
Say it one more time.
Steph Curry still number 6. Tatum number 5. Joel Embiid number 4. Luka Doncic number 3. Giannis Antetokounmpo number 2. And Nikola Jokic number 1.
I get Joel's the MVP, but is he the 4th best player in the NBA?
When he's healthy, yeah, I could give him that. When he's healthy, absolutely. There's an argument to be made that Joel Embiid is top.
I mean, if we're throwing when it's healthy in there, when Kevin Durant's healthy, he should never be off of your top 5 list. His hair should be off your top 5, but he shouldn't.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Where's
there's
he
no way.
at?
Jason Tatum's a better player than Kevin Durant.
He's taken his team further than Kevin Durant has the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, so we don't know the factors that they're doing. Now, if you're just talking generally, all things even, skill level, yeah, absolutely. But if we're talking about how they impact their team, yeah, Kevin Durant's put up amazing numbers, but how far has his team's really gone with him the last? I mean, really, listen, if we're talking and shout out to Steve-O who's in the chat. Steve-O has a great video over on NBA Central where he asked, Steve-O, correct me if I'm wrong, but he basically says that Kevin Durant at this point has become mellow.
I mean, that's fine. Melo, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, is just didn't win a ring. That man went for the money. I don't know, man. That's such a tough one for me. But I get Jokic, of course, Giannis, of course. I can see Luka in my top 5. Tatum 5 is crazy to me. Having an entire player up there who can't go left is insane.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably, not to say he's not talented, he's probably top 10, but I don't think I don't think I would put him top 5 right now. There's still some of those older guard, right? Like Stephen Curry's just gone. He died.
He's right outside the top 5, 6. And like I said, I guess if health's the thing, I don't even, that's why they should put the parameters. The very first part of your article should be explaining what the criteria. I met the criteria. Go ahead and say, I love it when you do it.
The criteria to be selected, but I still was not selected. I met the criteria though. There was no criteria. Isaiah, Magic just didn't like you. But me and Magic had a great relationship. He had his thing in the 80s. His thing in the 80s? His thing in the 80s?
I love when he also says, like, I'm okay with Michael Jordan saying can't be on the dream team, but Scottie Pippen says I can't make the dream team. Come on, bro. Like,
my favorite part of it all is they literally just asked Magic. Everybody's just like, I don't know why Isaiah's so mad about this. Like, Magic's the one that said you couldn't be on it. Like, y'all have talked about this.
That's funny, bro.
But
that's
hilarious. Criteria to be.
I meant the criteria. All right, moving on. We want to remind you guys, Locked On Bulls is free and available on every every podcasting platform as well as YouTube. He was
coaching Indiana
and the Odyssey app. Bro, shut up. Just shut up.
It's crazy. Like that. No, like they was winning. That's what I'm saying. It was crazy. Like you forget about that. Them was in the playoffs.
Yeah, consistently.
Did they make a finals?
Who
was the coach of Indiana when they made the finals?
Rick Carlisle wasn't he?
Was he? Okay, never mind. I was about to say, did they make a finals with Isaiah? Or a deep playoff run? I know Isaiah Thomas is a better coach than you remember him being, because I think the Knicks thing kind of tainted everything outside of being the player, him being like running the Knicks clean into the ground.
Yeah. All right, bro. Let's get into it. Last topic of the day. Top 3 coaches in Chicago Bulls history and the worst 3 coaches in Chicago Bulls history. This is an article from Pippen Ain't Easy. I want to go over their list. So for the third worst, they have Bill Cartwright from 2002 to 2004. They have Dick Motta from 1969 to 1976 as the third best coach for the Chicago Bulls. As the second worst coach, Jim Boylan. Enough said there. Second best, Tom Thibodeau. And then for the worst coach in Bulls history, Tim Floyd. And for the best, Phil Jackson. How do you feel about that?
I ain't gonna do my boy Floyd like that. Tim Floyd understands basketball concepts. I don't think Jim Boylan actually knows how basketball works. I don't. I've heard him explain it.
Yeah.
I don't think Jim Boylan. I'll bet you Jim Boylan like got plays drawn up for him from like a janitor that was in the building every now and then.
No, bro. You know what it is? No, Jim Boylan, because they don't have it on 2K. He used to ask Madden for plays and then try to take those and make them basketball plays from Ask Madden on.
All right. So we got 12 here, coach. There can only be 5 on the court. I said it's 12.
You're gonna have to do the job of 2 players. Like that's
bro.
Yeah.
It's you want to know what's wild? There are NFL coaches that play Madden in the offseason and just get it. Now, I don't know if I can do that to Tim. Tim was terrible. Tim was god awful.
Yeah.
But Tim wasn't Jim.
Bro, but Tim had, let's be clear here, Tim Floyd had a 20% win percentage. Jim Boylan had a considerably higher win percentage than that.
What was his win percentage?
Jim Boylan's win percentage was 32%. That's 12%, bro.
How many
12%?
games is that? Forget percentage. How many games is that? I
think he actually coached less games.
Tim Floyd probably did. I don't know. That's dang. That
I mean, you gotta think college. About it. Jim Boylan was only the coach for 1 full season. Only 1. A partial and a full. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. from 2019 to 2020. That's the only time we had Jim Boylan.
It felt so long.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it was painful.
So long.
It was painful.
Jesus. He was only there too. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, it's a fight for who's got the biggest pile of crap.
And keep in mind too, Jim Boylan also coached in COVID shortened seasons. That's how painful that was, bro.
Well, that Jim was Boylan, Billy, wasn't it? That was Billy. I thought they got that
2019-20. It shut. Didn't it shut down towards the end of 2020?
2020. 21, I think, is the season because the Lakers won the 20.
Right. Well, he only coached 65 games in 2019-20. He was the coach for the full season. So why did we only have 65 games?
I think COVID was even less than that. But remember, he came in. Remember, Fred got fired partially through one of the seasons.
Well, that's his first season. He still coached. First season, 58 total games coached. Second season, 65 games coached.
Maybe it was the COVID year.
Yeah.
We traded for Vooch while Boylan was still here?
No.
That don't feel right.
No, we traded. So, wait, you're right. Why did we only have 65 games?
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're right. Because Billy Donovan's first year would have been the COVID year. That was the year we weren't brought back for the bubble, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's the COVID year.
No. Wait.
Yeah. Because Kobe White's second season, and we had Kobe with Jim. Kobe White's second season is the COVID year.
So the NBA shut down for COVID.
It's a real podcast now.
Yeah, I know, right? March 11th is when the NBA shut. No, it was the 2019-20 season.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the 2019.
Oh, gross. Anyway, Jim sucked. Jim, you're a terrible basketball coach.
Yeah, Jim. That's tough.
I wish you nothing but failure for what you did to Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's the thing: I don't like Fred either. Like Fred.
Oh no, I don't like Fred either. Fred, yeah.
I don't like Fred for like regular reason. Like I don't like Fred because Fred just like got punked by Jimmy Butler. Like realistically, like that's why I don't like Fred. Yeah. I don't like Jim because Jim was a D-bag.
Jim was just a dummy, bro. Like, and it's so crazy now that we look, it was a season and a half. Jim Boylan completely ruined the confidence of a whole roster in a season and a half.
It tells you the importance of it, right? By the way, the White Sox bringing back Pedro Grifol, according to new GM Chris Getz.
Well, shout out to that.
Chris Getz railed. Oh, no, his was bad, though. His was bad, bro. Dang, Tim Floyd was bad. Tim Floyd was bad. That man's NBA coach. 4 seasons? Yeah, no, it's him number one. Bro, his record is 49 and 190.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Crazy. That's crazy. Tim was bad, bro. Tim was bad. Okay, as far as the best, bro. I mean, the best. I feel like the best coaches in Bulls history. Like we all know who the best coaches in Bulls. I mean, if you want to make an argument for somebody being ahead of Dick Motta, okay, I guess you can do that depending on what you got to see. But like,
our good coaches are literally Doug Collins. I can make an argument for you for Doug Collins.
Our
best coaches, we're literally watching one of them now.
We're watching one of our best coaches now?
Yeah, we only got 2. After that, we just like, we got names.
I don't know if I can say all that, brother. I don't know.
How much better than Fred Hoiberg is Billy Donovan? And they both basically some 500 dudes.
I mean, yeah, he's better than Billy Donovan, but shit, I almost rather have Vinny Del Negro than Billy Donovan. At least he developed some people. Like
Vinny Del Negro had a superstar.
This is true. This is true. But listen, there's some people that can ruin some superstars.
He was in the NBA.
If Jim Boylan was the head coach when we drafted Derrick Rose, bro,
he'd have sucked.
Derrick would have been like, "Yeah, I'm from here, but get me up out of here, bro. Like I'm done. Bro. I'm done."
Derrick would have hated that man. That's terrible. But I mean, realistically, like, what do we got? We don't have. It's not like we got this long list of extensive coaches that have been dominant here. I will say this: if you got a long list of coaches, you probably suck. Like, think about it, right? Since the Bulls have been winning championships, Greg Popovich has been the head coach of the Spurs.
Yeah. Yep.
When you got a bunch of coaching names that you can go to, you suck.
How do you feel? Well, okay, I'll joke. How do you look back at Scott Skiles' time here? Just in just as for a conversation.
Scott Skiles is Fred Hoiberg, but mean.
I think he's Fred Hoiberg, but better. Like, I think he just like
he's Fred Hoiberg, but better.
I mean, you gotta look like we had 3 years in a row of over 40 wins, over 500 basketball under Scott Skiles. You got to give him credit for that. And he developed those young players too. Like, you can't trust Jim to do anything. He's Scott Skiles is who Jim Boylan thinks he is.
Oh, listen, if we're comparing guys to Jim Boylan, that's a whole different, like everyone's better. Me and you are better.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, what was Fred's years? Fred was 14, 15. No, Fred was 15, 16, and 17.
Bro, I'm not even gonna act like I remember. So
the Bulls were 42 and 40, 41 and 41, 27 and 55. That's where they finished at. But then they get rid of Jimmy Butler, right?
Yeah.
With Del Negro, we were 33 and 49, 41 and 41, 41 and 41. With Skiles, we had 1 year 47 and 35, which is insane. That was a good year. 41 and 41.
Damn, Hoiberg was here 3.5 years?
Yeah. Hoiberg was here a while.
Christ.
And then who's 06, 07? Is that still Skiles?
06, 07.
That's still Skiles.
Would have still been Scott Skiles.
49 and 33. Okay, you know what? I'll put Scott Skiles above him. Scott Skiles did a better job.
That's what I'm saying.
It depends on what Billy does this year, though. Because realistically, right, 47 and 35, 41 and 41, 49, 33. Billy's going 46 and 36. That first season, 31 and 41, but we were trying to lose. Like, we include all Scott's years, it looks bad. But and then 40 and 42.
Yeah.
So if this year, you give me a 49 and 33, hey, we in this one. I'm right back there with you, Billy. Let's go. You still don't adjust.
So let me ask you this: what would you rather have, Jim Boylan as your head coach, or Big Kev's Bulls and White Sox jerseys?
Do I have to have them forever?
You gotta have them forever, bro. You gotta have them forever.
Oh, God. Dang it. Do I got to wear them?
You got to wear them. Yes, you have to wear them.
I don't even wear regular jerseys. God, give me Boylan. Like, at least I can wear a good-looking jersey while I'm mad at this guy. Like, how long's Boylan there? Is there a limit on Boylan?
Boylan is your head coach for 3 years.
Jesus. Yeah, give me Boylan, because if my GM crew's still good, that means that I can pick.
See, I'm worried. Well, here's what I'm worried about.
Pick high draft pick.
If we just talked about it was a year and a half of Jim Boylan and it felt like a decade. If I got to deal with Jim Boylan for 3 years, my face may look like Big Kev's jersey, and that's a problem.
I mean, listen, the sleeves were there, brother. That's all I'm saying. Like, I've never seen a sleeved baseball jersey. Like, the sleeves were like bowling sleeves. Like, I don't get it. Like, it was just.
I know this is a deep cut for those that have never seen it, but like, y'all got to see Kev's jersey collection, man. It's mad questionable. Like, he literally, there is literally a small Asian woman in his closet knitting up the jerseys as he requests. Like, he goes in there like, hey, yeah.
That actually, you know what? That's what it is. He going to the cleaners to get them jerseys made.
I told you, he goes to the beauty supply to get it. He goes in there, he gets his little turtle wax for his dome, and he buys a jersey, cops a jersey every time he goes in there.
Yeah, it comes with every time he buys some beeswax, it comes with a jersey. That's how it goes. Every time he buys
it's made from the same stuff the beeswax is made out of.
Every time he buys some beard oil, it comes with a jersey, bro.
Come on now. You saw Big Kev's beard. He don't use not a lick of beard oil in that mug, bro. Let's get up out of here, man. Come on.
Flint. But yeah, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Why we end up flaming Kev on a Jim Boylan? That's how bad that jersey was. We talked about Jim Boylan and Kev got shot. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Y'all stay safe out there, man.
You can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. Want to thank you guys for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every single day. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This has been Locked On Bulls, y'all. Peace.
Come with a free pair of them Big Ben threes, boy.
Oh, man.
My days was a time. I ain't gonna act like I have.
That's hilarious, man.
That jersey bad, though.
You think Big Kev's jersey is made out of squirrel? Like, it just looks like
His jersey made out of the same material his beard is.